Today we spoke to Chancellor Hudnall. Chancellor Hudnall was 2 years old when his father died in the line of duty. His father's Deputy William Joseph Joe Hudnall of the Kern County Sheriff Department in Bakersfield, California. His end of watch is Tuesday, November 14th, 2006. Chancellor speaks very openly and courageously about growing up without his father and the inspiration that his father gave him. So I hope you enjoy.
Hi.
Hi. What's going on?
How does that tattoo feel?
Oh, it feels great.
Yeah?
You know?
Looks
Like-
good.
It's like dandelions
Yeah.
feathering across my arm.
How old were you when your father passed away?
I was 2 years old.
You were 2.
Yes, sir.
So as you just growing up really early on, what was your, how were you, fed about your father, who he was, and all that good stuff, and what happened?
When I was growing up, I don't have a lot of memories of him just because I was 2. So a lot of the stuff came from my mom or from family members and stuff like that. But my mom has always been my dad. So Father's Days and all that stuff's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's it was always, hey, teacher, person.
Right. Yeah.
Here's our situation. And I always did stuff for my mom for Father's Day and stuff like that. So it's the second Mother's Day. Yeah.
Yeah, I take my mom out for dinner on Father's Day as well.
Right.
Kind of feels like you have to. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So it might be a weird question, but do you have any memories of your dad? Because you said you don't have many. I'm not sure.
I can't say for sure if I have any memories. I've been told stuff, and since it was basically trauma when I was younger,
Right.
my brain's like, hey, this actually happened.
Right.
I have one. I don't know if it actually happened or not, but it was when I was in a pool with him and my brother. So with him as my dad.
Yeah.
And my brother, and just my brother biting my floaty. That's all I remember. I don't know if
So you do have that one memory.
Yeah, I don't know if that was him or if it was my uncle, who's same body style and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but that's the type of memories that I do have.
Interesting. So, have you heard stories of your father from his coworkers or other family, stuff that they've given you, telling you about who he is, who he was?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories, especially from my mom, and then from my uncle. Sometimes just after dirt bike riding or something, just has a dirt stash and just at the dinner table eating something.
Yeah.
Or certain events that he's at. If I think it was our grandma's or my grandma, a tree fell down in the backyard. He was
Right.
there. Just certain things like that. I've heard stories, a lot of them.
Can you give us one?
Yeah, just the dirt bike one.
Oh, okay.
So it goes along with the picture as well. There's
Yeah.
a picture that we have of him just eating a sandwich. I don't know what type of sandwich. Probably jelly. Probably
Right.
about a jelly sandwich. But yeah, he was just at the dinner table, dirty face. It was just awesome.
Where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up? Bakersfield, California.
Where?
Bakersfield, California.
Bakersfield. Now, growing up in your school, in any clubs or churches or whatever you're involved in, were you able to? Did you speak about your father a lot? And when things came up?
When I was younger, it wasn't really I didn't know anything other than, hey, I don't have a dad. But now that I'm older, I don't really say unless they ask or if they mention it.
Right.
But sometimes it's just hey, by the way, Dad's not here.
Yeah.
This is what happened, in a brief little thing, just so they understand.
Right.
So I'm not getting that weird, hey, where's your dad? Right? It's hey, this actually happened.
So do you, if that comes up, do you bring up the whole story, or do you just kind of keep it kind of chill and really vague?
Sometimes I keep it vague. If I know the person, if it's a teacher, it's yeah, he died in a car crash. But if I know them, your best friend, they just never asked. I'll tell them the whole story. It's not a very long one from what I remember.
Yeah.
But I give it right there, and it depends on the person, really.
Yeah. Makes sense. Was he responding to a call?
I don't know.
Okay.
From what my mom's told me and other people told me, it's that it was his day off. He was just going up to the sheriff's department to bring down a prisoner.
Got it.
Then he was hit.
Okay. Now, what do you want to do when you, quote unquote, grow up? Is there any law enforcement inspiration for you?
When I was younger, I did want to go into law enforcement, but then I kind of went away from that more into military.
Okay.
So I can actually join up now. I just got to talk to recruiters and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I want to go military, and after that, I do want to do first responders of some sort. I'm kind of leaning more towards fire departments and all that. But yeah.
Okay. Good. You have siblings, yes?
Yes, I do.
How many of you are there?
I have that live in my house. I have one little sister, one little brother, and an older brother.
An older brother?
Mm-hmm.
How old's your older brother?
He is just turned 20, almost 20. Yeah.
So he probably remembers your dad a lot.
Yeah. He remembers a little bit more because he was 6 at the time, 4 at the time. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm paying attention to my brother a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm self-centered, you know.
No worries. Do you guys talk about have you guys ever spoken about your dad?
Not like about his passing.
Yeah.
Not really about his passing. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Not really about his passing, but more about like what he remembers. Like, was I there? Was I not there? Certain little events that he may remember. It just comes up in random conversation.
Yeah.
We never sit down and just talk about it.
Right. So when it comes to, fallen officers, do you feel, because you didn't really know your dad, you're very young, and a lot of, we're on track to losing 350 officers in 2021, and a lot of them had children who were your age or even younger. So growing up, being part of this community, did you feel part of a community? Did you feel there was support in that sense? It's okay if the answer is no.
Yeah.
If you're detached or whatever. I'm just asking for other people who might be going through the same thing as you did, right?
Yeah, definitely. There was definitely a community around me. I didn't realize until I was a little bit older, probably like 10 years old.
Right.
Because I started realizing, hey, there's people that go through this more. Like I used to go to Cops Kids Camp. It was full of kids that.
Cops Kid Camp?
Yeah. Concerns of Police Survivors Kids
Got
Camp.
it. Yeah. We've worked with them before.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of kids that are just like me. They know what I'm going through. I know what they're going through. And it's a huge family. They become some of my best friends, even if they live across the country.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah, but like the biggest thing, if anyone goes through what I'm going through right now, don't hide it. Like I went through tremendous amounts of anger just when I was younger, because I didn't know. I didn't understand what was going on. And it was just anger that came out.
So looking back on it, first of all, did you go through any therapy for this?
I did a little bit.
Yeah.
I did talk to a therapist like for a week, but yeah, not really.
So looking back on it, well, where do you think that anger came from?
Probably, like I said, from not knowing. That's the biggest thing. It's just I didn't know what was going on, so my brain couldn't comprehend what was going on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it was just personal, I think.
So how much have you grown since then? Like, where are you with that anger? Has it subsided? Have you came to terms with it?
I wouldn't say it's subsided. I don't think it's gone. Like, it's still there. I still have little outbursts whenever people make me mad or whatever, but I've learned to control it. It's a part of me now. Instead of pushing it away, I've taken it in and forced it towards something else,
Right.
like whatever task I'm doing or whatever. Like, it's a part of me now. Instead of pushing it away, I'm bringing it.
That's awesome. I mean, you're a pretty young man, and that's a very older, mature approach. So I'm sure your mom had a lot to do with that. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. What I really want to know is why fire department before law enforcement?
So like after the military, so fire department, right?
Yeah.
I feel it's more not hands-on, but just more me, because I've seen videos, I've seen everything that they do, and like I said, I got to do more research, but I want to go first responders for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know how to explain it and put it into words, like it's like a gut feeling.
Good. That wasn't a call out or anything.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Right.
Tell us about your tattoo.
So to do with my tattoo, I wanted a skull with a blue rose. The blue rose kind of represents my dad, and that's how I think of him. It's just that blue color and the rose. I don't know how to put into words, but that's what I think of. That's what I kind of materialize in my brain. And then with the skull, I'm a high school student, so
Right.
And I want to go big or go home. Like it's,
Yeah.
I feel that it kind of tied together with it, on a personal level towards me.
First tattoo?
Yes, sir.
All right, stop trying to be tough. Does it hurt?
Oh, it hurts.
It hurts. Okay.
Oh, it sucks.
You got a good guy giving you a tattoo. He's been giving us tattoos since 2016 or 17. So, but yeah, it looks good so far.
Yeah.
Looks good so far. Couple more questions. So, obviously, you can't give advice to a 2-year-old who lost their mother, father, or aunt, uncle, anybody in the line of duty, but maybe somebody who's kind of coming of age into their early adulthood, just knowing what you went through. Any advice you could give them? Kind of kids a little younger than you who might feel that same anger and not know what to do with it, not even know where it's coming from. You know what I mean? If they happen to run into this podcast.
Right. I think one advice or piece of advice I just like to give in general, and it doesn't even have to be if you have a fallen law enforcement officer die or anyone really. I've had multiple friends where they had a loved one die, or even a dog or a cat or something.
Right.
The biggest thing I can say is probably don't hold it in. Like I held it in for so long. I didn't tell my friends. I never really had like friends come over for sleepover parties, right? Like I just never had that tie or connection to anyone. But it really like my life kind of kicked off with all my friends once I got into high school, because a lot of them were going through the same thing I was. Maybe on a different level, maybe mom, or it was their parent wasn't good enough, or they didn't feel they were good enough, so they left. Like
Yeah.
the biggest thing is just don't hold it in.
Right.
Let people know what's going on.
Yeah, that's really important to not really. I guess let go could be a negative thing, but I feel like just coming to terms and accepting that kind of let go
Right.
is what I'm assuming you're talking about. That
Yeah,
seems very
not
powerful.
like say, hey, it didn't happen.
Yeah,
It's
or
not-
forget about
yeah.
correct. Yeah.
More of a hey,
Yeah.
it's not. It's a terrible thing that happened, but know that it's gonna build the world around you. Like it's gonna build who you are. Don't make it make you bad.
Right. It's great advice. You're a very young man. You seem very poised, very articulate, very mature, and it doesn't seem like a mask. It seems like you've dealt with these emotions. You have a great support system. And I didn't know your dad, obviously, but I know for sure, he'd be very proud of who you're becoming and your goals and your aspirations. And I hope he doesn't get mad at me. I'm sure he loved the tattoo too.
I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna closing out, and just want to say thank you for letting us honor your father today through a tattoo and through speaking about him on this podcast. So we really appreciate you.
Thank you for letting me come out here. Like, thanks for giving me this opportunity to honor my dad and meet new people, of course.
Awesome, and hopefully we keep going. If you want to continue on the tattoo, we'll keep building on it for you.
Oh yeah,
Sweet.
for sure.
Thanks, Chance.
All right, sweet.
All right. Thank you. Gotta go get my paint on your tattoo.
Yeah, right.